Go ahead, Kathy.
Okay. Okay. First of all, welcome everyone. I start this venue today with a poem from Grace Schulman. I'm reading her book, Days of Wonder, and it's a marvel. You know, Grace Schulman is still with us. She lives in Manhattan, down by Washington Square Park, and she's back and forth to a home out in the Hamptons. So it's it's nice to be able to speak with her as well as present her, which I'll be doing at Ollie at Stony Brook University. So this poem is called Street Dance in Barcelona. Alone, I watched the solemn dance begin, waking from a silence that deceives, that turns footsteps or the rustle of dry leaves into the clatter of a tambourine. Their voices had been rattling that day, rapid as drumbeats in the Catalan. But a wilderness of hands reached towards the sun like wheat stalks risen from a ground of clay. The crowd broke into perfect wheels, turning to the stuttering of a wooden horn, quickened by the beating of the sun. I had seen their angry faces burning. Strangers, we stand alone but turn together as veins become a windmill in the wind. One hand opens for another hand. The wheel breaks only to include another. That poem really grabbed me. And now I wish to introduce Melva C Lewis, an emerging writer who interweaves the language and experiences of her birth country and her Long Island in New York. Lived life and writes in Spanish and English, often switching between the two as she self-translates. In 2020, during COVID, she joined the Long Island Poetry Collective, LIPC, and Thursday Morning Poets, TMP. She credits this community of writers with helping her not just survive, but also fuel her growth and creativity during this harrowing time. Melva's poetry has appeared in What Unites Us, Prose Poetry, The Constitution, Democracy, Rule of Law, in Moonstone Arts Center's 2025 World Poetry Day, To Be Completely Honest, Pomonok Transition, Riverside Writing Group 2022 Anthologies, and others. This year, her science fiction poem, The Other, which she wrote and recorded, was aired on WNYC's Morning Edition for National Poetry Month. Melva loves baseball, is a proud Trekkie and technophile, adores her family, and enjoys a strong cup of black coffee. Welcome, Melva. I don't hear you, Dan.
Melva, you got to turn your microphone on.
I did.
There you go.
Hello, everybody. You have to forgive me. I'm a little bit discombobulated today, but I know everybody that's here is a friend or a friend of a friend, so I'm not gonna worry about it. I've already been introduced, so I'm going to read, the first poem that I'm going to read is called The Garden of Eden. And I think it came out in an online publication, but instead of giving you explanation about everything, I'm just going to read. And at the end, I guess if you have any questions, you can ask me. Thank you. The Garden of Eden, then and now. Before there was good, before there was bad, there was Eden, the Eden of dreams, where everything flourishes. Flowers bloom, crystalline rivers flow, the fruits are rosy, sweet, and ripe. Animals gather, graze serenely. Everyone loves one another, inhabiting peacefully in caring companionship. Time passes. The snake's tongue hisses venom, fake promises. Many gullible accept the hype. See light with its night. See gold with its mold. Calamity leads to catastrophe. Fear, famine, and anger abound. Wars and pestilence proliferate. This Eden is a mixed bag. There's love, there's hatred, there's tolerance, there's prejudice, distrust for differences, naked craving for lust, destroys caring and empathy. The strong want to be stronger, the bully, a bigger bully. Invaders spread hateful propaganda, fire brutal missiles at freedom-loving citizens, pretend to be protectors, liberators of the oppressed, claiming they are bringing back peace. They murder children, the old, the infirm. They are slayers of potential, homes and hospitals. They promote the big lie, a guaranteed return to Eden. False promise, they know they won't keep. La pura verdad, el jardín del Edén, for the innocent, the young, the elderly, the good people, the peace and tranquility they long for, their Garden of Eden exists only in their dreams. This one came out in the Moonstone Arts chapbook. A feeling pervades. It happens every year, like the rise of the sun dazzles us every dawn, forcing our eyes to open, fills us with surprise. It happens every year around the holidays. A shadow hovers. A blanket fell from the sky. The sun overslept. The night came out to play too soon. Darkness came early. The moon is empty. The stars are hiding. My body, my spirit, lie fallow, left unsown. The farmer forgot to seed and water, like a paper doll forgotten, left blank. Will someone come and add some color? Some gorgeous green, some roaring red. Inject some joy into my muscles. Tell the marching band to bang the drums, blow the horns. Wake the little girl inside. Tell her it's time to come out and play. This one is a poem that I wrote for the 1 in 8 anthology about people affected by breast cancer. And it was published there in English, but I translated it into Spanish, and I'm going to read the Spanish first. Valentía. Toda su vida le decían que era bonita. Pelo precioso, cuerpo delgado y bien formado, inteligente, divertida. Obtuvo una beca deportiva universitaria. Cuando sintió dolor cerca de las costillas por un lado, no le dio importancia. Era una atleta, acostumbrada a dolores y esguinces. Entonces dijeron que necesitaba una mamografía. Espera, pero solo tengo 28 años, ella dijo. Deberías hacerlo por precaución, le dijeron. Más tarde, el doctor le informó. Los resultados de la biopsia salieron malignos. Tienes cáncer de mama. Lo más seguro que hacer es extirpar el seno. ¿Me saldrá cáncer en el otro?, preguntó. El riesgo es bajo. Puede que pasen años o quizás nunca ocurra. No lo sabemos con certeza, respondió el doctor. Ella pensó, Podría tardar años, pero debería arriesgarme. Pensando en su hijo pequeño, le dijo al médico, mejor extírpame ambos pechos. And this is the English. Bravery. Her whole life, they told her she was pretty. Beautiful hair, slim, shapely body, smart, intelligent, funny. Earned a full college athletic scholarship. When she felt pain near her ribs on one side, didn't think anything of it. She was an athlete, used to pains and sprains. Then they told her she needed a mammogram. Wait, but I'm only 28, she told them. You should do it as a precaution, they said. Later, the doctor informed her. The biopsy results came back malignant. You have breast cancer. The safest thing to do is to remove the breast. Will I get cancer in the other one? She asked. There is a low risk. It might be years, or it may never happen. We don't know for sure, he replied. It could be years away, but should she take that chance? Thinking about her toddler, she told the doctor, please take both breasts out. This piece was published in the Riverside Writing Group, which Luvon created. This one is called The Just Gathering Pub. Light came in through the windows, highlighting the dark shapes, sitting on wooden benches. At the bar, Pedro the lumberjack, aka Palo, stared into his half-empty glass of beer. Next to him, Big John, thin as a rail and barely 6 feet, slouched half asleep. The rest were all relaxed, matching the weather outside. The sun was still out, but waning. That's when the door burst open, and a dark figure filled it. Her voice was deep and strong when she said, rise, rise, you men and women. It's time to fight for our land, for our homes. The time has come for us to go to war. All conversation stopped. They all gawked at her, their expression asking, who is this? Which is exactly what little Econ, the carpenter, yelled, who the heck are you? I am Justa, she roared back. Come to hunt for fighters, warriors that want to do battle for our families, for the poor, for the downtrodden. I am searching for warriors to join the battle against evil, against the evil ones that are invading our land and our neighbors' land, snatching our lads and our young women. Who will come with me? Everyone looked around with surprise. What in tarnation is going on here? Their expression said. She, who called herself Justa, marched to the middle of the room, her strides long and sure. She stood tall, her abundant kinky silver hair framing her face. She wore dark armor, a metal vest and skirt over long pants and mud-covered leather boots. She circled the room with her eyes and in a calm and clear voice said loudly, who is with me? We cannot let our neighbors fall. The evil ones have a large, very well-equipped army, but they don't belong in this land. We must beat them back, shovel them out of this land like manure. Who here is with me? Drop your beer, leave your whiskey and your rum, pick up your guns and your rifles, grab your axes, grab any weapon and join me. Come, follow your heart. You know the history of our mothers, your fathers, and your ancestors. When there is a battle to fight, good, strong men and women of fierce hearts must lead the way. Become an example. Forge a trail for our children to follow. The valiant and courageous must stand up and fight. Follow justice and fight for justice for all. At dawn the next day, when Justa stepped outside the pub, she saw an army of men and women, young and old, some even in wheelchairs, walkers, and canes, all waiting in silence, filled with pride and anticipation, ready to stand with her and fight for what's right, prepared to follow her from here to kingdom come. In the crowd, held aloft by a lad on a horse, waved a bright yellow flag with a black J in the center, and voices chanting to be heard. Follow Justa, fight for justice. Follow Justa, fight for justice. This one is one that came out recently in the, let me see, the Walt Whitman, in the anthology called What Unites Us? Prose, Poetry, the Constitution, Democracy, Rule of Law. And it's called Dear Walt. Dear Walt, we'll never meet, but many of your admirers, even your detractors, tell me I should get to know you, read your writings, get a glimpse, a clearer picture of a less shadowy you. Find out what the hula baloo is all about. In a democracy, everyone should be treated equally. Yet we are split, separated, fragmented, and full of distrust. Democrats' democracy is not the Republicans' democracy. Time juxtaposed them. There's no right and no wrong. No melting pot or jambalaya. No mangú or fufu. No chicken and waffles. No goulash. No arroz con pollo. Robbers in white bandanas hoist red, white, and blue flags. Hardworking innocents get locked up. Many get carted away to Never Never Land. Women have the right to vote, but not always over their own bodies. Democracy is tied to injustice and racism by bloody yokes. Justice is not blind and is not available to all. Yet, countless still hope and dream about the American dream. Americans come in all sizes, all forms and guises. Religion, race, gender, or wealth bracket should not define you nor deny democratic rights. Everything is still colored, stained, smeared, and besmirched. You should not be punished for loving liberty, self-determination, or freedom. Mi amigo Walt, what would you be doing if you were here? Would you be protesting on Zoom, flying an upside-down flag, wearing a Black Lives Matter t-shirt or a MAGA hat, writing a letter to the New York Times, the New Yorker, the New York Post, MS Magazine, being interviewed on Fox or MSNBC? One way or the other, they'll want you to take sides, liberal or conservative, left or right, true or fake, theirs or those others. No middle ground. Tell me, what would you have done if you had been here on Juneteenth? This is one that was published in the Permanent Transition by Kathy. I just have to ask Daniel, you have to let me know if I have enough time to keep going. Let me know when I have.
Fine, another 5 minutes or so, you'll be fine.
Okay. This one is one of the first poems that I had published, and it's called The Calendar Says July. They said it would be over by July. She used to love July. She married and brought a child into the world in July, another lifetime. The leaves on the tomato plant are browning. too much water, too much sun. Once, the hydrangeas were full of blooming flowers, vivid violet, cerulean blue spheres. Now they are turning gray, like the sky about to thunder, like the skin of bodies lying in cold weight, in nameless anonymity, toes tagged untouchable, inside dark drawers, in morgues, in refrigerated trucks. Others sequestered in locked negative pressure rooms, their bodies too frail to push their chest walls, lungs gasping for oxygen, barely able to inhale or exhale, unable to fill the alveoli with anything but fear, unsurvivable without a ventilator's aid. Counting is almost pointless, except the demise live on in the memory of friends, families, co-workers, statisticians' colorful graphs, politicians' presentation, and media report. Portos says they don't exist, they are exaggerated, they are fake. But those who knew them in life know the truth. They were once babies, veterans, doctors, someone's child, father, mother, brother, sister, neighbor, not a figment of someone's imagination, no exaggeration, but real flesh and blood. Loved, missed, mourned, yearned, remembered, celebrated. Soon, August. This one is called, and I think I'm gonna let this be my last one, Snow Gang Dreams. Snow is falling slowly. The snowflake sighs. Unable to stay still any longer, he starts to run. He's tired of the weather people who keep saying it would only be snow flurries around only an inch, most likely just a half inch. How demoralizing for the young snowflake just coming into his own. His developing muscles growing more vigorous, beginning to snowball. How can he impress a girl, his possible future girlflake, if he can't join others, a member of the snow gang that band together, sticking, even if they're just blowing around? He wants to shift shape, be a chunk, a cluster of something bigger, facets sparkling under the sunlight, even for a short time, a snow squall. He wants to play a role, part of the brouhaha of the snow warnings repeated over and over on the TV, on the radio, in breaking news, the alarming text in friends and family chat, in friends and family group chat. Did you hear? There's a big snowstorm coming. It's going to be a doozy. Have your emergency supplies handy. Get your salt and sand ready. Get your shovels from the shed or garage. Check your car batteries, your flashlights, your phone chargers. Fill your cars and trucks with gas. He wants to be able to proclaim to his grand and great-grand snowflakes, I was a teenager, but I was there, part of the heavy mix of snow and ice that canceled more than 1,600 flights across the US, breaking the year's snowfall records. I'm a veteran of the first major winter storm of 2025. Thank you.
Melvin, that was great. It's hard to believe you crammed so much imagery just into 7 poems. With the beginning with the Garden of Eden, you know, the snake and the bully being the bigger bully, and people longing for peace, and it's just so many eternal themes in the Garden of Eden, and a feeling pervades about the holidays and how it happens every year, and the sun oversleeping and the darkness coming too soon. Very, very much reminiscent of the time of year that we're in. That beautiful poem about breast cancer. We all known someone who's experienced breast cancer, and the woman, the feeling that she's immune from it at a young age, and her decision to go through the double mastectomy in terms of reflection of her children. How many times have we heard that a parent decides a course of treatment because they're looking ahead to being there for their children, and those guys sitting in the pub minding their own business, wallowing in their beers and their drinks and being called to fight for justice, for a very powerful poem. And it was amazing what you did with Walt Whitman, putting him in the present and asking him whether he would write a letter to the Post or the Times, or whether he'd be interviewed on Fox or MSNBC, and what he was doing on Juneteenth, brought Walt Whitman into the present, which was very timely. And then the calendar says July, those reflections on COVID, all things that we felt, and they're beautiful. I've never thought of a snowstorm from the point of view of a snowflake. Just wonderful imagery and very well done. So thank you for that. Okay. So we look forward to bringing you back for an encore. Remind everybody to please keep your mics muted. Some of you got your mics on, and what that does is your camera is showing up. So please make sure you're muted unless you're called upon. And we're going to go now into the open read. And let me bring up the guidelines for the open read. So in the open read, oops, here we go. The open read. I don't have my guidelines for the open read. My brother has an expression that says you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. So I guess I best be paid peanuts. So the open read is one poem, please, one poem only, and no more than 5 minutes for the poem. And we'll call upon you in groups of 3. Please keep your mics muted unless you're called upon. And the first group of 3 we have is Marvin, followed by Joyce, followed by Sherry Lynn. So Marvin, over to you. Please remember to put your mic on.
Okay, could you hear me?
Loud and clear, Marvin.
Okay, this poem was written 56 years ago in 1969, shortly after Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin walked on the moon. It's called Is the Sun Next? Now that the moon has felt the heel of history, is the sun next? Do we crash into the sun, mocking its intensity, scorching its heat with our brand of earthiness? Will the sun fade from our lives as we make it dance on an electronic string, setting it in some cellar place or some warehouse above which neon bright man proclaims his manliness? Is the sun next?
Thank you, Marvin. Remember those footsteps years ago on the moon. Joyce, over to you.
Hi, I'm Joyce Zimmerman. Enjoyed the open mic very much of your last poem, and Daniel, you made such a good synopsis of our wonderful guest reader. It was just compelling, and I related to a lot of the poems. So what I'm going to be reading is a poem about my late husband, Louis Zimmerman, who was a teacher, but became a poet in his spare time because I kind of rubbed off on him. So I'm going to be reading the poem depicting the life of my husband and our life together. So it's called, and his name was Louis. What do I keep? What do I throw away? For Louis. And he passed away, so this is a memory of him. Donating your clothes came first, but disposing of your outdated textbooks was even more difficult. You were a high school science teacher. I took those books in and out of the house 3 times before I finally asked our neighbor friend to dispose of them with her garbage. For over 40 years, you utilized your knowledge of molecules, the endocrine and other body systems, and even clues to solving mysterious deaths into lesson plans for your biology, chemistry, and forensic students. And also in answers to our 2 daughters' questions throughout childhood. And even years later, to your ultimate delight, to our grandchildren in what became known as BACA, Lewis questions regarding all things relating to science and nature. But you are a father first. When I was pregnant with our second child, you sat down with a textbook with our then almost 3-year-old to explain that she was about to become a big sister. I have reflections of a lifetime and moments like this in my head. 2 years after your passing, I found a huge ring full of keys. I threw them in the garbage and then took them out. Are these the keys from your childhood home in Forest Hills? Our apartment on 81st Street off 2nd Avenue? Our co-op number 4F in Lindenwood Village, Queens? I know many must have been school keys from high schools where you taught. I am not sure which are which. How should I now dispose of these keys? Our locksmith neighbor may know. Before that, I will take a photo on my phone and keep you and all my memories of you and our life together locked in my heart.
Beautiful
Thank you
tribute.
very much.
Thank you. Beautiful tribute. Okay. Sherry Lynn, over to you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Kathy and Dan, for hosting, and Melva for your wonderful reading. I always love hearing your poetry, and I look forward to everybody's open read. I'm going to read a poem from the book that was just launched Monday called Saving Ourselves. And this poem is called Private Property, and it's inspired by an art piece I saw by Donna Bates, who won first place, and the art piece was called Not Your Choice. She contemplates, if only we were our own private property, we could demand no trespassing. We could hold agency over our precious bodies. To erase womanhood, to claim body parts, to noose vocal cords, to negate our existence, abort our vote, rights, and freedom is not your choice. As if we are graffiti silhouettes left dripping on soiled subway walls, in the double-speak barbs proclaiming free independence pressed against bodily control dictums. With centuries of women empowering each other on her side, she gazes up to ancestral starlights, fills her being with their strife, their hard-won radiance, claims her uterus, claims her choices, claims her sanctuary, her private body. It is not your choice to own me. Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry Lynn. Okay, next we have Claude, and then follow, it's got the Barbaras confused. It's Barbara Branca and then Barbara Siegel. So Claude, over to you first.
Good morning, everybody. I
Morning.
guess I'm going to follow the mode of Melva in the Garden of Eden with what's going on in Venezuela or off Venezuela. And does everybody know what FIFA is? It's related to soccer, yeah. And how about the FIFA Peace Prize? You ever heard of that? Kind of like the Nobel Peace Prize? No, never heard of it. Anyway, they gave it to Donald Trump, according to Gianni Infantino. He's the president of FIFA. Okay, so this is called Pirate Trump. On the Barbary Coast, we had pirates. And what does Donald Trump think he is today? Attacking the Venezuelan oil tanker, taking its coveted oil, and the ship itself. We were supposed to be getting a peace president, but all he wants to do is make war. His Hesketh calling the Defense Department the Department of War, blowing up little boats with high-tech missiles. Trump wanting Venezuela's oil, saying he was fighting against narco terrorists ready to invade and kill people, but not his sons or his bone-spurred self, while pardoning the president of Honduras, though he was convicted of smuggling over 400 tons of cocaine into the United States. Trump thinks we're all stupid, ignorant of current events as he censors the press. Only praise to him allowed on our airwaves. His spineless military, unable to question Hesketh's belittling of the silly military code when he summoned its leaders to Washington for a denigrating dress down. Now we ready for war, to be as fruitless as Afghanistan or Vietnam. That citizens must protest, which sycophants want to legalize. All hail Donald Trump, winner of the FIFA Peace Prize, created for him by his boy, Gianni Infantino, his fawning, wheedling soccer promoter.
Thank you, Claude. Okay. Barbara, over to you. Barbara Bronca, followed by Barbara Siegel.
Good morning, everyone. And following some of what, Melva, I have to say that your intensity in all of these issues raised and some of the books that were just published recently about democracy, women's rights, which I participated in, and they're just wonderful examples of how poets are activists. And I'm not doing any of that today. I'm going to sing something that has to do with Nikola Tesla, whose lab was walking distance from my house. And today we have a big fundraiser and tree lighting. So, and this is more in keeping with what Joyce was talking about with her husband, because I was a science teacher. So today, this is a little tribute to Nikola Tesla. Here comes Tesla, right down 25A. Alternating current and remote control, his gifts we use every day. Theremin ringing, cell phones dinging, sounds you're hearing today. Tesla coil lightning, tree lights brightening, let's thank Tesla today. Here comes Tesla, here to Wardenclyffe Lab. He was tireless, working on wireless, his technology we have. Induction motor running, fluorescent light humming, AC makes our homes bright. Electricity for all, that was his goal. So let's thank Tesla, let's thank Tesla, let's thank Tesla tonight. One further thing is that the lab at Wardenclyffe was designed by Tesla's friend, the same architect that designed the beautiful church that we all know and love, Stanford White.
You did get around
Thank
that,
you.
Stanford White. Thank you. That was wonderful. Okay. Thank you, Barbara. And over to Barbara Siegel. Barbara, you got to come off mute.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I have a very important message, which is thank you for the opportunity to read, but I didn't know I put myself up for it. So thank you. I'm not going to read today, but I enjoyed everybody else's reading, including yours, Melva. Wonderful. And Barbara, thank you for that great song.
Here comes Tesla.
That Tesla was a great man.
Okay,
So thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, so our next group of three is Bob H., followed by Ophelia, followed by Dan Kerr. So Bob H., over to you. Bob, you got to come off mute.
Yeah, sorry, I was having difficulty getting the glasses on. Hi, everybody. I just wanted to say first, thanks to Kathy and Daniel and Melba. Your words were so enlightening, very invigorating, just so thoughtful. So thank you very much. This is called Ellie and Sam. Sam sat in his recliner, staring out into space. Ellie, I miss you, hon, he said to himself. How long has it been now? He thought. My God, it's been almost 18 months now. The big C finally took her. She had fought and fought, but they never had a chance. They both had worked so hard, but when the government slashed health insurance, they lost coverage and stopped treatments. Some folks never have a prayer, he mused. She had been doing so good on her chemo, but the costly payments that had been covered vanished, like a specter running off into the night. I guess it was actually good she faded so fast, he sighed. Oh, Allie, dear, I miss you so.
Thank you, Bob. Very timely. Ophelia, over to you.
Hello and season's greetings from Colorado. I would like to my dear friend Melva, gracias, bendiciones, your mil gracias. To my Jewish friends, happy Hanukkah. And today I'm going to offer a poem written many, many years ago, which resurrected yesterday. Poetic request. I want a poem, a simple thing, free of hyperbole and innuendo, intensive as high noon sunbeams penetrating a deep forest, innocent as a child drawing without perspective or color theory, immersed in the act of creation, rewarded by a loving smile. I want a poem, a simple thing, not a grandiose river, but a virgin spring, humble beginning at the highest peak, refreshing my soul, drowning in conceit and deceit. I want a poem, a simple thing, encouraging me to go on loving when love seems obsolete.
Thank you, Ophelia. Well done. Okay, this is a Christmas poem, and it's interesting. It's the meaning of Christmas, all the emphasis on Christmas, and do we ever really reflect on the true meaning of Christmas? So the meaning of Christmas. This was published in the soon-to-be-released Harmonic Verse, which is a group of poems put together by James Wagner, compiled, and it's reflect poems about the holidays. So the meaning of Christmas. Back when I was a kid, we started to prepare for Christmas by watching March of the Wooden Soldiers after Thanksgiving dinner. When I went shopping the day after Halloween this year, I expected to see pilgrims and turkeys, not Charlie Brown's Christmas tree, It's a Wonderful Life ornaments, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and the Grinch that Stole Christmas. Were merchants so looking forward to the birth of Jesus that they decided to begin Advent early? These cherished characters from my youth caused me to reflect on the true meaning of the holiday, and what Christmas was all about. Charlie Brown didn't need another holiday to remind him that he was unpopular until Linus dimmed the lights in the school auditorium and read the Nativity from Luke's Gospel. God sent Clarence, the would-be angel, to show George Bailey that serving others made life worth living. When Herbie and Rudolph tried to be independent together and Bumbles bounced, and the inhabitants of the Island of Lost Toys experienced the joy of Christmas when they were first loved by children. Perhaps the voice of Boris Karloff said it best after the Grinch delivered the toys and carved the roast beast. Maybe Christmas doesn't come from a store. Maybe, just maybe, Christmas means a little bit more. Thank you. Okay, so our next group of three is Wendy, followed by Randy, followed by Virginia. So Randy, over to you.
Melva, what a wonderful read. The poem I'm about to give, I read each year at this time because I wrote it after witnessing my granddaughter's love of the season. So this is my holiday wishes to you all. It's called A Match Made in Heaven. No turkey left overs to eat. Black Friday shopping complete. To the little girl's cheer, the elf on the shelf and the mensch on the bench did appear. Mensch and elf, friends turned out to be. Together they hung out in the boughs of the Christmas tree, sat in the Hanukkah candles' glow. The little girl's happiness overflowed. The elf and the mensch spent the whole holiday season together. The little girl hoped their friendship would last forever. And when they lived with me, my family, those two things, the elf on the shelf and the bench, showed up here. Now they moved into their own house, and that's where they show up every year. So, magical beings that they are. Happy holidays.
Thank you, Wendy. Well done. Okay, Randy, over to you.
You can hear me?
You're fine.
Okay. So I just wrote this morning and finished typing it in at 11:05. Sorry, Dan. So I don't have a title, so I'll take any suggestions. If every morning, like coffee, drink the warmth of your embrace, and tell you of my faithful love as I look into your face, and see your committed love to me as if words written in stone, to know me as your chosen mate, I'll never be alone. And yet I leave the house each day, forgetting you're alive. I labor like all depends on me, no phone call for advice. After work, there's beers with friends, then home to my PC. I watch the latest basketball, then write my poetry. Before my bedtime, I recall my love, I know, absurd, yet sometimes even go to bed without a single word. If these my deeds, would you love me or feel I care at all? I wouldn't blame you if you left and let me take the fall. Yet you don't treat me as I deserve, forgiving stupidity. You're slow to anger, abounding in love, compassion, and grace to me. You do not always accuse nor will harbor anger forever. As high as heavens above the earth, so great you want us together. As far as east is from the west, so far you remove misdeeds. The way a father forgives his children, so you have mercy on me. So pardon this man of flesh and dust, an inattentive bride, but a soul created as art for you. I'll live like so inside. That's my take on Psalm 103 and Hosea 2.
Well done, Randy. It's true love. Okay. Randy, now over to Virginia, all the way from Shelter Island.
Yes. And something today reminded me of Emily Dickinson. And this was a poem I wrote after visiting the Bronx Botanical Garden, and they had an exhibit indoors and outdoors on Emily Dickinson. Her herbarium. Electronic pages turning at my finger glide reproduce Emily's own herbarium, where she immured with precision water lilies, cowslips, roses under her handwritten paper cuffs with a loving botanist brain. How did she dry and press so flat the heavy peony, the filmy vetch? How did she put her dears away? Her own dress, so pressed flat and white, held her apart from passer-by. Her austere room, no hint of life, the color of her soul, ivory. While in her tiny hand-sewn books, the living flower of her being skipped and danced with crimson petal, juggling brains and anguish as toys. She gardened at night with owls, her immured self in deep pages, her tissues splayed, dried for art.
Thank you, Virginia. Well done. Okay, so we've gotten everybody that is on the list. I know Kathy usually likes to read as well. Is there anyone who wants to read who hasn't read so far? Shu, anyone else? Shu looks like she wants to read. So how about we'll do Shu, and anyone else wants to read? Okay, we'll do Shu, and then we'll do Kathy, and then we'll bring back Melva for an encore. So Shu, over to you. Got to put your mic on, Shu.
Good morning, everyone. It's such a wonderful reading, and time flies. So here comes, the end of the year, and with the holiday approaching. So I wish everybody have a wonderful time, no matter what you experience this year, or you're happy, you have something to make you sad. I hope that you can get along with them. Have peace in your mind, so there are good times in front of you. Be sure of that, and find some happiness in your life. So I post my poem on the chat. The title is No, I Can't Forget You. No, I can't forget you. This I know. Tried my way, tried theirs, nowhere to go. The harder I push you away, the deeper you choose to stay. Like the mark an eraser leave behind on a page meant to be clean, still you're defined. No, it's impossible to forget you. That is clear. Every time I try to let you fade, the memory rise won't be swayed. The laughter, the tree, the pen, every piece of you remains. Even the air in each breath I take carries your echo. I can't escape. The sunrise reminds me of where we began. The sunset reminds me of where it's all run. Clear skies are raining once. Every season whisper your name. No matter where I stand, your shadow reaches out again. Some memories aren't just written, they are carved too deep to break. No hands can smooth the pages, no time can clean the space. No, I won't forget you. This is certain. But how should I remember you? Thank you.
Thank you, Shu. Well done. Okay. Kathy, over to you.
So I think that not to well, first of all, let me just say, Melva, that was a fabulous read. It's very, very impressive. It's 22 people here. Who are you? So wonderful. I have a poem here that's addressing why things can go wrong in a country so powerful. And, if you're watching the American Revolution, you can see that Americans from the get-go don't like to take any bullshit. And, it does make a lot of people very feisty about how they feel. In the meantime, 90 million people did not vote in the last election. So this is a poem called Citizens. When the sunlight beamed through an open window, sheer curtains swayed in a gentle breeze. Two sleepers, well rested for the day's beginnings, slept in. Still sleepy, he reached for the clock he did not set, a minute before it would alarm. It was a holiday. He slipped out of bed to the right, she to the left. He to the shower, she to the coffee maker, frying pan, 4 eggs scrambled. They ate together, always did. Then she to the shower, he to the dishes they created in the sink. The day was theirs. They could go wherever they wanted, say whatever they believed, out loud, offer their opinions, or not, fill in the hours as they pleased. They never thought of freedom. It was a given. Never thought of what it might feel like if it was taken away. They would simply explain, "We are not into politics." The end.
Well done. Okay. So Melva will bring you back for an encore. So Melva, you got to put your microphone back on.
Okay.
You're back.
Okay, so I was gonna do one, but I'm gonna do two. One is the books half short. This one is something that I wrote thinking about my mom. It's not really about her, but and it was the editor's choice in the Nassau County Poets Laureate. Okay, it's called Boleros. On a dusky evening, skin still warm as the sun's rays slowly sink, a faraway memory comes. I glean notes, sense vague melodies. When I was a child, my mother would sing while she cleaned the house. Barría, trapeaba, sacudía el ritmo. She swept, mopped, and dusted to the rhythm of the songs. She would sing the latest hits, slow or fast, depending on her mood. She mostly crooned boleros, slow songs you dance in one spot, barely moving, squeezed tight in your sweetheart's arms, or like my mom, holding a broom close to her chest, a make-believe lover. Boleros, about broken hearts, being in love, of fealty, a lover's forever love. They will never forget you, nor leave you. Of lovers who broke their promises, left you for another, or to find their dreams. Songs of passion, ardent kisses. Some were happy and full of hope. Many were sad and full of angst. En mi corazón, en mi alma, I still hear my mom crooning in the key of love, in the key of heartbreak. And this last one is about my favorite topic that I love very, very much. It's called Love Talisman. I want to express all the love, care, and devotion I have for my children in a way they can understand, feel, hold, and keep within themselves as a talisman. The first time I saw each of my children, I felt an emotion I had never felt before for anybody else. Surprise, awe, love, incredulity, fear, happiness, all in one look. To this day, I still feel the same. Every time I look at them, my heart smiles, my soul dances. I love them with as much love as my heart can hold. I cannot adore them more than I adore them. I show them I care in ways that are countless. I tell them I love them as often as possible. Each of them is different and behaves differently. Each has different skills, styles, personalities. They are all strong, muscular, athletic, quick learners, creative, loving, caring, and handsome. They are all individually distinct, yet very similar, as if painted by the same artist. Each one an original, part of a coveted, cherished collection. Each is uniquely priceless. I love my sons.
Well done, Melva. Great ending. Okay. Let me turn it over to Kathy, who can announce next week's poet. Kathy, next month's poet, rather.
So I'm very privileged to have our poet, George Wallace, next month. He's a very, very busy man, traveling all over the country, all over the world to bring his poetry and now poems to song, which if you're on my list, you're getting a copy of each Sunday morning. So if I don't have your email and you'd like to hear that song, let me know. In the meantime, George is a phenomenon. There was no poet laureate in Suffolk County before him. He worked with the legislature and made it an official position. And it's been such every 2 years. There's been a new poet laureate, and it's all because he started it. He's phenomenal, and we're very lucky and privileged to have him reading for us next month. So try not to miss him.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to stop the recording right here, and then I'll leave the site open so you can all interact with one another.